I believe there's a secret mission to Ukraine. You had it.
It was secret.
Go on 3.
So NATO ally Romania has dismissed an unverified report that an F-16 fighter took off from a base in country to bomb Russian forces to occupy southern Ukraine as the approaching transfer of dozens of the American-made fighter jets to mounting speculation and rumor. Ukraine Frontline X, formerly known as Twitter account, appears to be the source of the latest false claim. I can't imagine there's any false information coming from that theater. It seems to be all 100% true. It's the source of the latest false claim, which are prepared to be sent to the Ukraine by NATO nations. Ukraine Frontlines reported, without providing any evidence, that Russian General Staff of the Armed Forces reporting to the Security Council that the F-16 operating out of Romania, based close to the Black Sea of Constantia. Is that what it is? Carried out an airstrike. Constanta. Carried out an airstrike. Constanza? I can't see that.
Constanza.
No. They were very frightened in Moscow. There was no possibility of locating an F-16 at Ukraine bases. So here's why they're saying that didn't happen. Because then Romania is in trouble, right? Because that's bad. But they also, and the reason I brought this up, thanks, Doug, we'll take that. The reason I brought this up was because not only was that a rumor, but they were saying that when the IL-76 AWACS, the AWACS aircraft was shot down, that it was Vipers, and it had to be, they got Vipers, and that's how they did it. And there's a lot of fog of war. There's a lot of misinformation in this conflict, but the reality was these pilots are still training, and they're training in Romania, and they're training in other countries, but they're not launching combat sorties out there. In fact, there was that video you and I did, Gonky, with the Dutch when they were doing the zigzags, and it was a low altitude thing. People were like, well, they're getting Dutch Vipers. Are we not sure that those aren't Ukrainian pilots doing that? And the answer to that is no, because if you're in training, you're not doing air shows. Right. You don't have the time. Like, I think people kind of mistake fantasy for what they want to see. Like, they got this grand vision of the Ghost of Kyiv, right? The grand vision of these heroic Ukrainian fighter pilots, which I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying they think they're out there hot dogging it like Maverick, and that's how they learn, and then they're going to go in and save the day. The reality is, to be a fighter pilot in any country, and I think this is more of a testament to the professionalism of Ukrainian pilots. So this is the reality, and this is better than what you think. They're there learning the jet, studying tactics, and they're out there practicing and studying tactics. So the idea that they'd be out there hot dogging for people down low, well, you're not giving them much credit as professional fighter pilots, because no one is going to be doing that in the middle of training, because they want to learn this jet, be able to employ this jet, and bring it back to their country and use it to win.
If you fly jets like Hollywood makes you think you fly jets, you'll be dead.
Right.
In real life. Very quickly.
None of that's survivable.
Well, the community won't accept you either, right? Like, you can't be that person. Like, right. Everyone in that situation is taking it seriously, and you're the dude that's hot dogging. Like, that gets noticed, and people, they wall counts.
I mean, look at it. Okay. I mean, if Ukraine gets, I don't know, 12, 15, 20 F-16s, I mean, these are sought after assets. Right. But you're not going to tolerate a cowboy that's going to risk one of these assets, man. You need, like Mover said, well-trained, disciplined, professional aviators flying these things. Because guess what, man? It took us a year to get these 20s, all this money, time, effort, like literally, like we're hinging the survival of our country largely on this asset to protect us in the air. So there's no tolerance for that.
Well, also you talk about 20 in the real world, 20 makes 12.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, 14, maybe if you're lucky, 16.
Yeah.
You don't fly all 20 jets at once. They're not even all up. They're not,
Right.
code
You've got at
one
least one
jets.
hangar queen.
Right. You're
Couple.
cannibalizing parts because, and I'm sure, I'm not saying that they're giving them crappy airplanes. I'm just saying they're not
Yeah.
any squadron, brand new F-35s coming off the lot. They're not flying all their jets at one time because there's going to be
Any
one of those
aircraft. Yeah.
phase maintenance. There's going to be required inspections. There's going to be stuff that breaks, and you're going to want to fix it because obviously you're not going to go out there lead nose and you're just useless. You're a target.
Trust me, in wartime, they're not going to wait on FedEx or UPS to bring that part tomorrow. They're going to walk out there to the airplane that's like got a flat tire and pull that radar out of that thing and throw it in the other jet, and now we got one good jet. I mean, that's just how it is,
Yeah, and you need spares, right? So you've got an 8-turn whatever, and you got 2 jets that are spares because inevitably, and I go back to my previous comment about cold weather, harsh environment, stuff's going to break, radars aren't going to turn on. It's just the way airplanes work, and he's going to have to shut down, go to the spare, if he's got a hydraulic leak or whatever, and he's going to have to make that work. So we romanticize this a lot, but it's ugly. It's an ugly process, and they are going to have to be as regimented and disciplined as possible in order to make this work to continue to survive.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of romantic thoughts about military aviation just in general. Like you said, there's so much just mess associated with maintenance, training, manning, equipping. And people just don't understand. Like, it is a constant knife fight. You are constantly dealing with one problem after another. And the moment you get this problem fixed, this one raises up. And I don't care what the aircraft is. I don't care how new it is. 5 or 6 of them are broke. And one of them's hard broke. One of them is a known issue. Doesn't matter how many times you change the whatever, that thing just acts weird. Like, it's just the nature of military aircraft. It's the nature of aircraft in general.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, where Hollywood gets from is like we work super hard, but then we played really hard too, right? So they're like, okay, the work stuff is not good. Let's focus on the
shirtless volleyball. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Just get looped up, get a ball, let's go.
Well,
let's get some magic happen.
Yeah.
But that's the I guess lack of transparency because we do make it work, right? So what you see is the finished product, and the B-1 that flew across the world to strike 85 targets or whatever it was, and you don't see how many jets those 4 dudes and girls and whatever had to get to that, and how hard. And this is one thing I want to say. Maintenance works their butts off.
Oh, 100%.
You do not go anywhere if maintenance is bad. So the pilot piece, that's great. But if you don't have trained maintainers that are on top of things and taking pride in it, you are going to fail. They are important.
Yeah. And it's hard to keep them too, because the money and the hours are not that great. And then they go across the street and they get a contract job doing the same thing with work rules, with better pay. It's hard to keep them in boots, a lot of times.
Not in Ukraine. I mean, they're all at war. So.
Well, yeah, not in Ukraine.
They're not going to. Well, I guess they could go to Russia, but kind of traitorous.
I wouldn't advise it. Yeah.
It's frowned upon. They like to shoot people that do that.
Yeah, but I just mean in general.
Right. No, I got
for aviation.
Making a joke there.